Welcome to the 2.0 edition of the TecHome Builder Online Summit and our opening keynote story segment. Home technology has been a powerful force in home building long enough for true masters to emerge. Leaders at home building companies with experience, rigor of process and operations, and a vision for the right future plays that they methodically revisit and revise. We visited with two such TecHome masters to learn some of their secrets to success and gain insights into their plans. Scott Dingle is president of South Florida-based SRD Building Corporation. For almost 3 decades, SRD has served the needs of luxury homebuyers. Scott and his brother Steve started building as teenagers, helping their father first remodel a family home in the Keys and later helping him build a home from the ground up. After completing college and both obtaining their general contractor's licenses from the state of Florida, they established SRD. Over the years, they've built 130 plus luxury homes, averaging about 10 per year recently, and ranging in price from $6 million to more than $20 million. Roughly half of their homes are custom and half luxury spec, and they aren't shy about technology.
So in the beginning, we were doing the technology individually. So, we were putting our security systems in, and we were putting in some audio and video, and we were doing the lighting and some very small cameras, and even started doing some Wi-Fi throughout the house. But probably in the neighborhood of 15 years ago, we decided they needed to be integrated and come together as more of a singular piece.
Mhm. Did you feel you were getting confirmation from your clients when you first embarked on having a more robust tech offer? Did you see high satisfaction rates? Were you seeing this becoming a competitive differentiator for your company?
I think so. And we were getting good feedback. And I think another turning point for me is when I built my own house about 15 years ago. And I ended up putting in a pretty complete package, Crestron package together that tied that all together. And then my usage of that really gave me some additional insight into how nice it was, the user experience that I was getting from it. So that changed my thoughts on it and really made me feel like this is something that we wanted to offer in our homes.
So tell us the story of how your technology offers evolved over the years. We've kind of got the early piece of getting traction on it, but give us the highlights of some of the ways the offer has evolved over the years.
So we've worked with different products and tried to see how well they integrate and how well the user experience was and how reliable they were. And so as we found products that were more and more reliable and the experience was better and they were more intuitive, we would integrate those into our package. So as the technology is developed, it's become more user friendly and more intuitive, and it really just enhances the experience.
So talk a little more in a little more detailed way about those homeowner experiences. Which
So
ones have really kind of grabbed folks, or where do you see high satisfaction levels? We like to talk about 7 central benefits of the tech home, and they are, if I can remember them all: smart, connected, safe, entertaining, green, healthy, productive. I mean, where were you seeing the user experience or the benefit piece, rising, and based on what products?
So I think it started with the lighting, and the lighting being such an integral piece to these larger homes and being able to control the lighting from a singular location, to have your timers built into them for scenes, and to be able to control the volume of the light, intensity of the light, etc.
Yeah. So
Um,
convenience and entertaining type applications?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And to be able to turn off a whole home with a single button when you're leaving, when you're in a 10,000 square foot home, it can take some time to be able to turn these things on and off if you don't have that control.
Yeah.
So, that was a key piece. And of course, everyone loves their audio and their video, and to be able to play music and to be able to have it dispersed throughout the house with multiple speaker levels so that you can control volume and have volume at a comfortable level. So as you move throughout the house, you can still get the same experience,
Yeah.
was always nice. And the ability to control what you wanted through different sources. And the sources have, of course, changed over the years quite a bit,
Yeah.
and become more personal.
Yeah, I think that's an application where people don't know what they're missing until they start to experience it. The multi-room audio, just the feeling of that, right? That the music's with you wherever you go, and it's always at that comfortable level. And I'm a music lover, so I get the value of that application.
I couldn't agree more. And even in the outside environments, we do a lot of outside speakers within our covered spaces and within the landscape and the pool environments. And to have it outside again with multiple speakers so that you can control that level. And it really just enhances the experience of the house, which
Right.
when you talk about pool, now we've integrated pool and spa controls and fire feature controls into it, so if you're in your backyard, you can control it all right from your phone, your smartphone, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So you're looking to give your clientele wow type experiences, whether it's for themselves and just their day-to-day living or entertaining family and friends. And, how integral is technology to really delivering on the wow?
Oh, I think it's huge. Both in terms of the presence of it and the cleanness of it. So if the application is done properly, where you've installed things in the right location and you've done it in a very neat and orderly manner, and now you go to use it and you have so much more at your fingertips than it might appear. And so it completely enhances the experience and the quality level of the home. It just takes it to another level as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, in the customer experience world, we talk about how do we get to not just customer satisfaction, but delight. And people are delighted when they're surprised by, it's an unexpected extra benefit that's provided. And I think tech, in combination with, other finishes and feature sets, is one of the ways that you can delight because it surprises. Sometimes it comes out of somewhere where you don't expect it to come, right?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, you walk through the house, a new home, if you are someone that's considering buying a house, or even if you're moving into a house, but you can see what the floor plan looks like, what the finishes look like, what the furnitures look like, but you don't really see what the technology is per se. I mean, you may see your TVs around and whatnot, but as you start to experience it, and that is what happens a lot in our spec homes, is they're like, wow, we've got this many layers of technology available to them, that really just integrates into the home so smoothly, and then you get to experience it and really enjoy it. So
Yeah.
it's always been kind of a hidden jewel, if you will, in our homes.
Yeah. So talk a little bit more about your spec homes. What is standard these days from a technology perspective?
We've been using Crestron as as our primary controller, but within the house itself, we have it starts with a robust Wi-Fi throughout the house, seamless Wi-Fi inside and outside. We've got security, we have cameras, we have lighting, we have audio and video. We have very often gate control, driveway gates with cameras at the gates, intercom communications to the gates.
Yeah.
We've got our garage control, entry control, pool, climate. So you can really see and control your house
Yeah.
both when you're there and when you're not there. And
Yeah.
it's a great feature.
And so you've made the assessment with these spec home offers that 95, 99% of the prospective buyers out there are going to appreciate this feature set, or it may even be dispositive in you winning versus other properties.
If people are just getting to this level, they haven't experienced it before, and so it's a new thing for them, to have the complete package. And then other times we have people that have experienced it but haven't experienced it as well, and then they come along and they're like, wow, the technology has really improved. It's really come a long way. And we've done a lot working with our tech partner Bravis,
Yeah.
to develop these systems and to really try to put in systems that are user friendly and are as customer friendly as possible in terms of service,
Yeah.
and maintenance on them.
Hey, let's look ahead to the future. Where do you see the tech home going in 5 to 10 years? What kind of user experiences that we're not seeing now do you think we might see in 5 or 10 years? Um, you're deeply enmeshed in this. You're one of our tech home builder masters, so certainly value your vision of the future.
We're going to probably see more integration with little things like appliances, to see the health of those as well. There's capabilities now, but I think it's going to get easier in order to do it and to be able to see these kinds of things. And is everything working? Is what's the temperatures of them, et cetera. And a lot of times customers don't necessarily need to see that, but they want to be able to check it. And so, I see some things like that coming down the road, and maybe just even some, as things are intuitive, but they get even more and more intuitive. And so, as the technology in our lives is evolving and increasing, I think this will do the same.
Yeah. What about AV? Do you see, more big format video displays and, even greater utilization of high performance audio? I know we've got, we're kind of evolving from the 2 speaker per room mode to something where you've got more outlets for the audio, so those sound pressure levels can be kept super comfortable. And there's more than just the television watching or movie watching experience with video. We're starting to see art playing on video displays as well. What's your in it? I'm very interested in the luxury space. What your vision is there?
Well, it's interesting. The art piece, which is actually the monitor behind me, is on an art mode right now, and we're utilizing those more and more in our products. For instance, we're putting monitors, big art monitors, in a kitchen, and so it doesn't look like a TV. It looks like a piece of art. But if someone wants to turn it on, built into a spot within the cabinets, it's seamless, and it really works well.
Yeah.
Or even in a lot of the libraries or offices, great rooms that would be more of a formal space that people wouldn't typically want a monitor in. Now this art monitor really gives you the ability to do both, and so they're great pieces. We're utilizing them quite a bit.
Is there something frustrating that you'd like to see the technology industry on the whole, whether it's at the manufacturer level or some business practice element or a missing piece of the overall value chain ecosystem? What needs to be done better to make this an even better and stronger category for you?
One of the things I think is just the debugging of the systems and making sure the systems are as seamless as possible for the customer's experience. The last thing they want to have is people in their house servicing it. They want to be enjoying the systems. However, there's some reality to putting a system in like this. And I tell people very often, I say, well, am I going to have to see our technology integrator at my house? I'm like, you're going to have to see them from time to time. That's just, it's part of it. I mean, you don't run an office with a bunch of computers and not have an IT guy, And so it is part of part and parcel of having these systems in is that there's going to be some service to them. There's going to be some updates to them. And so I think maybe some education from the consumers to some realistic expectations on that side of it. But it's also getting the systems as tight as possible. And a lot of that is by reusing the programming and processes that you have in place to debug all those things that would cause some of those service issues.
Ken Peterson is Vice President of Sales and Marketing and a 25-year veteran at privately held Shea Homes based in Walnut, California. Ranked number 22 in the 2020 Builder 100, Shea closed almost 3,500 homes and generated more than $2.2 billion in home building revenue in 2019. Thanks to Peterson and a multidisciplinary, multi-divisional team, they are also a home and builder technology leader as well.
Maybe you can give us a little backgrounder on Shea and home technology, how you got started with technology inclusions in your homes, and just bring us up to today.
Certainly have always been interested in technology, both for our employees, the customer, and then how do we advance our homes. And so really it was the onset of high-speed internet being offered to customers, and we had homes that couldn't support that technology. So back in the early 2000s, partnered with a company, IBM Home Director, if you recall that.
So we had kind of that network-centric era in the mid-2000s or so, and then the whole world of home building went on hold for a few years, starting in 2008. When we came out of the Great Recession or the Great Housing Depression, where were you with your technology offers?
Well, we really started the tech play during the recession because our biggest competition were resale homes. People could buy a foreclosed home, which there were thousands of them, purchased across the country. And so we said we have to differentiate. And so there's many different areas that we focused on. One of them was efficiency. So how do we build a better and more efficient homes for our customer? And that started down the whole path of Energy Star and then leaded us to EFL, Environments for Living, where we guarantee the heating and cooling cost of the home to the customer. And so it was really a focus on, the efficiency of the home and, how do we translate that message to the customer and make our homes more attractive. Secondly was design. So we learned that people were living in homes differently. And that prior to the recession, people were averaging about 3 to 5 years living in their home. And so we saw this new consumer saying, no, I'm going to be in this home 10 to 12 years. So we really started looking deep into consumer studies and understanding that consumer that's purchasing, if you buy a home and you have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, then you're going to be there 12 years. Now you have a 14 and a 16-year-old. And so we really had to say, well, what has to change about a home? And so we designed flex spaces in homes. We really focused on secondary bedrooms. Normal in the industry was 10 by 10, 10 by 11. And we said, no, we have to settle for larger spaces. Connectivity, we already had structured wiring, but we offered more drops in the home. And that was really the transition to wireless technology inside of homes. And so we spent a lot of time exploring that. And so really it was about a holistic view of homes and how consumers really engaged in that home. And we kind of called it livability. Mm-hmm. And so livability was all aspects of the home, the engagement of outdoor space, making that an extension of indoor and size of bedrooms and the technology. So during that period, we spent quite a bit of time because we get the same marketing messages, right? And so you have two fronts. You have marketing messages from builders talking about, all these great things about purchasing a new home. And then you have giant retailers also engaged in that customer. And the difficult thing, and I think a lot of home builders face that, is, how do you create a holistic approach of technology inside of a home? But so many things were changing so fast. And so you had, hey, I have a Wi-Fi enabled device, I have a Zigbee, Z-Wave, And so, now I need a hub, and, that whole connectivity was a real struggle for us. And so we continually focused on the infrastructure to support, whatever a customer could put in their home.
Talk a little bit about the process side.
We have a team of people within the division. Our corporate group also supports, us through our NPO, National Purchasing Group. But really, there's two things that happen is, at Shea Homes, love working here because each division, we have 9 across the country, would beta test certain aspects of technology. And so we'd kind of divide and conquer. We would do a beta test, understand if it's an option, the take rate from the customer. Once that take rate gets relatively high, we would transition that into an included feature. So instead of a one size fits all, we really, put this collective suite of products together for our customer.
How do you coordinate that nationally?
Pre-COVID, we would meet about every 2 months, face to face, and whether attending your conference at the TecHome or IBS, and really each of us kind of looking at, hey, what do we think the consumers within our submarket would be interested in, and what bandwidth do we have as a division to implement? And that's really the life cycle of your community. So if you have new communities opening, let's go ahead and put some of that technology. So face to face every 2 months, we're on a phone call every 2 weeks. And then as an interdivisional group through the sales and marketing, and we have representatives from MPO, from the corporate group. So it's a team of about 20 people. We dissect all of these and we create what are called OKRs. And so that's really what we want to focus on, either for an annualized basis or a quarterly basis.
Is there a typical technology standard that's being offered in Shea's homes these days?
So a couple of years ago, we adopted our platform called Shea Connect. Shea Connect is installed at all of our communities across the country. And so it's a standard platform. We provide an Alexa device in the kitchen. We do quick set front door locks, Ring cameras, Euro Wi-Fi. And so all of our homes are certified Wi-Fi, that there's no dead zones inside of the home. Thermostat, lighting controls, and garage door opener. And so that's a suite of items that we offer to every one of our customers.
And are there upgrade packages or options that are selling very robustly in most divisions?
Depending on the consumer group. And so that's a great question. So we build from, let's say, first move up to luxury. And so that one size fits all doesn't work for all of those customers. And so depending in our active lifestyle groups, security is extremely important, as well as monitoring the home remotely. If somebody's traveling, do they want cameras inside of their home, or water sensors, or automated shutoff? And so we start with the base level package, and then people can upgrade. And we go all the way to Control 4, or even Savant systems, and also Lutron. And so we offer all of that, the suite of services to advance the home as far as you'd like to take it. And so we invest quite a bit of time about consumer behavior, and what trends do they see on our retail side that's driving consumers to purchase their products. And so we take that information. We also use consumer data that we go out and collect, like through Personics. And so if we're building a community within a specific area, we geo-target a 2-mile to a 3-mile radius of that community, and we understand the consumer demographics that are in that area. And so we're matching the consumers within a specific geographical area, information that we get from manufacturers, and then also from our internal. We also spend quite a bit of time doing focus groups with our customers, listening to not only why they purchased the home, but after they've been in that home a year or a year and a half to 2 years, to ask the question, what would you have done differently? What did we not provide? And so it's a culmination of all those different things that really drive our product offering and our option offering to the customer.
Well, let's shift gears and talk a little bit more about the digital sales and marketing technologies. What's going on? What's exciting for Shea in that digital marketing and selling realm?
Yeah, I don't know if we were just really smart or lucky. Us as a division here in Phoenix, Arizona, we've been beta testing quite a few different applications. So a couple of things that we've done with AlphaVision was Digital Sales Assistant. We call it the DSA. That's an interface at the community level, or can be used by our sales team virtually with the customer to talk about all the attributes of the community. And so that's the entire community: open space, walking trails, amenities. And so it's a really nice interface, and we've had that technology available to us for the last 5 years. In the beginning of 2020, after about 8-9 months worth of research and testing the product with actual customers, we did a beta test at 2 of our communities. One in particular was Compass, and that's the Rumored platform. And so Rumored provides the opportunity for somebody in our office or at home to really decorate the finishes inside of the home. Fast forward through the second quarter of 2020, in the midst of COVID, we had already done work beta testing via our frame walks. And so it's very expensive for builders to build a home and then go out and walk the home and change window locations, change any framing details, elevation changes. And so, any builder out there knows that during a frame walk, you're making, sometimes minor or significant changes to the home. We wanted to do that better. And so we partnered with AlphaVision. Our homes are designed in-house through Rivet. We send those files to AlphaVision. They build the home, basically a 3D shell, place some furniture when we're discussing the livability of the home. Will that living room or great room house a certain sectional? Will the dining area house a 42 by 72 or longer table? And so they place a few pieces of furniture. We already started that, but during COVID, it was one of the coolest things, is because we had people connect in from all over the country, as well as the division, as well as trade partners that are actually going to be building the home, and go through the home virtually and look at all transition points, lighting in a room, window sizes, elevation details. We did our first community claim at Alamar, and the whole team made a commitment that if we're going to do a virtual frame walk, then we are not going to frame walk the models or production homes. And so that's a very successful community. It's been active for quite some time and doing extremely well. We just completed our second virtual frame walk for a high-end community, Signature at the Phoenician. Homes averaging about 2.2 million. And we just completed two sets of meetings and doing virtual frame walks there. The greatest thing about that is, since I'm on both sides of it, with the sales side and the marketing, we have marketing assets way in advance of ever opening the community. And we can take those VR assets, we can turn them into a Matterport type tour for the customer. We can post those online. So it was really by chance, that we were really prepared to transition our entire sales team to a virtual selling environment. We learned a lot from it, and that's our new way of doing business moving forward. Anytime we design new product, we do it virtually.
Very cool. And are you also using self-guided tour technology where you do have physical models in place?
Yes, another beta test that we did at the division was at the last in-person TecHome Summit, which again, I absolutely love going there and meeting companies and people that represent those companies. And 2 companies really stood out about how do you provide access to your models before or after working hours. And so after a couple months of research, a lot of phone calls, I elected to move forward with UTour. We launched our first U-Tour community. It's actually 2 communities at Alora Vita, a big master plan community. And John, I have to tell you, it's been the most successful thing that we have done. I am absolutely shocked on the number of tours that we conduct on a weekly basis, either before hours, which is convenient for a customer. You know, maybe you know, the purchaser wants to tour the home before they start their workday or even after. We saw a huge increase in U-Tour activity over the holidays. And we really learned that about 60% of our customers have never visited the community before. Those customers, you know, don't want to be engaged with the salesperson. They're coming out to inspect the home. And the way the system is designed is we, partnering with U-Tour, I had a list of questions that we feel that we'd like to answer for that customer. And so inside of the home is an Alexa. Alexa greets you when you come into the home and just says, hey, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. And so U-Tour has built a great algorithm that can decipher the same question asked multiple times. And so we deliver a message. We also, to make that process a little bit better, instead of just having that Alexa device in the kitchen, we partnered with iDevices, so all of the switches in the home, so we can control the lighting for the customer, as well as we put 2 to 3 different switches in the home that also are Alexa enabled. And so if you're in a loft or away from the kitchen area in the primary bedroom, Alexa's still there to answer your questions. And so it's been a fun journey. We are just now launching that across the entire company because the results that we've seen are absolutely spectacular. From, you know, the customer's first arrival to the home, they're accessing the home through a quick set lock, which we offer. Upon arrival to that entry, there's also a Ring camera, so we capture a photo of that customer. We also have Ring cameras throughout the interior of the home. It's the same product that we offer the customer. The Alexa device is included with our home, and so they get instant engagement with that device. They can play with the lighting controls. We can deliver video messages. Our TVs are also equipped with talking about some of the benefits from our manufacturers that we offer inside of the home. So it's a comprehensive experience that somebody really has the opportunity to, you know, engage in the technology inside of the home on their own. And there's no salespeople there; they're all by themselves.
Yeah, people don't like people anymore, is what we're finding out. They won't pick up a phone. They won't come see you in person. They want to hide out in the recesses of the internet and do the stuff themselves. And we just got to meet the buyer where they are, I guess.
Well, I think, you know, that's something that I've really focused on is, you know, you have 2 things. You have your team members, your internal team members, and a lot of these technologies roll into our design studio. But you have to have a sales team or a design studio team that is equipped with understanding technology. And, you know, during COVID, people were forced to use technology, whether they wanted to or not. And that's one of the byproducts. And so we always talk about adoption. Adoption of technology is extremely important. And so by putting a really cool VR tour available to your sales team, they have to know how to use it, engage with the customer, and be very fluid in their presentations. And so we track all of those things at a division level to just see how our teams are performing. We provide, you know, video training available to them. And so that's our internal customer. The external customer, it's the same thing. And so it's the adoption of some of these technologies, which people have been forced to use. And whether you're ordering groceries online, which you never did before, or doing Zoom or net meetings, that's really important. And so we had to follow suit to make sure that, you know, our team members were equipped to handle our customers on a virtual basis. And you know, we've been very successful, which is, you know, a great testament to our teams. You know, one area that I think we're going to experience a significant change in, and this is Ken's perspective, and that's, I mentioned it, indoor lighting. And so We did a few beta homes and a couple beta communities that all of the indoor lighting was low voltage. And so it's really that transition between your low voltage supplier and the high voltage electrician. And so, I've seen kind of these companies merge together where a high voltage company also has a low voltage company within it. And so that's something that, I think is going to happen over the next 3 to 5 years. If you take a look at the cost of wire, switches, everything that goes into a home, low voltage lighting, I think, is something that, we have to learn better as an industry to run, basically low gauge wire to supply lighting in the home. The other benefit to the beta communities that we did is that we would put a battery backup system in case of a power outage. You would have about 50% use of your lighting from about 6 to 8 hours inside of your home. And so it's something that we continually explore to see if there's a better solution for, home lighting, and plus offering, varied color temperatures. One thing, I think is important to add, because I've had this conversation from quite a few builders, because we use the rumored application and then our advancement in VR. And the lines are getting blurred between sales and marketing. And, I have a very definitive view of that. Marketing, like our model homes or the VRs that we offer customers. People want information to make an informed decision. And that's super important. They're not purchasing. They're looking at making an informed decision. And so we've really separated those two things to say, marketing, how do you provide information that the customer wants and that's delivered to the customer at their request and within their timeframes. And so a lot of the things that we're doing is really helping people engage in our product, whether it's online or in person by themselves or with our sales team, to make ultimately a decision to purchase and not purchase. After that, things like our rumored application, our surfaces application, those help people design the interiors of the home. Personal appointments with our low voltage and high voltage provider, pools and landscaping. So we provide all of those things to our customers. That's really on the sales side. And I think they have to be completely separated. While some of those technologies can cross both platforms, I think a lot of builders and technology suppliers really need to take a look at that transition between marketing and the engagement of the consumer, and then ultimately allowing them to personalize the product.
One thing is clear about TecHome Builder Mastery: process, not products, is becoming the key to winning offers that are also efficient and profitable for builders. Masters recognize the blistering pace of tech innovation and put process in place, often in collaboration with vendors and integrator partners, to stay ahead of the curve in appealing to buyers.